Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to be doing a tier list video. It's been over a month since I did it, so the next one's going to be very short considering it's probably only going to be the end of month characters that we should be getting news on in a few days time. But we're going to be doing all the way up until the recent mid-month character of Grimmjow and Ichigo. So I'm kind of curious, what is your top 3 characters for each attribute, or just your top 1 if you want to make it a bit easier. Just kind of curious what you guys think. If you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's just hop right on in. So first we're going to start with Heart. Now I do know, obviously I'm not going to be ranking PvP. This is PVE, mainly based on Guild Quest, Limit Breaker, and how they perform in IT, because all the other content is fairly lackluster. I've kind of ranked them. I believe I kind of sorted them in overall use case in S tier and SS tier. Below that, I don't think it really matters overall. But yeah, so let's just hop right on in. It's literally only Noitora, and he's actually pretty good. He is it kind of looks, it's kind of up to how you depend on it, because in IT and Limit Breaker, Riggatony does very, very well. In Guild Quest, she obviously is a farmer, so obviously her damage falls off. But Limit Breaker is a bit iffy because it kind of just depends on the rules. But she has really good damage. She has incredibly consistent damage, because I'm comparing farmer to farmer. That's essentially what I'm doing here. That's why I'm bringing up Riggatony. Hopefully I didn't say Raruka. But for Riggatony, it's, the Pierced Iron Skin, 100% extra damage to non-status ailment affected enemies, and then, all of her other little multipliers and whatnot. For Noitora, it's more of a chance to proc status ailments if they're going against mind attribute enemies, which in most cases, you're always going to be going against mind attribute enemies whenever you bring in Noitora. Except for in Guild Quest. That's mainly the only time it changes. And he has the Super Mind Link Stop Potions +5, which is a very good link. It allows you to make any other heart character a Super Potion Link character if you really enjoy their gameplay over the other. Such as Kyogre, Ichigo, True Shigai Ichigo. This is my main go-to for IT at the moment. 6th Anniversary Aizen, if you like that. Riggatony could become a +10 Super Link Stop farmer if you just have her more invested, or maybe you just like her gameplay more. And she also provides droplets, unlike the Noitora. So, that could be a bit of a bonus for you. Maybe you're lower on droplets, so you bring the Noitora link to give you +10 potions, +5 regular potions, and then +30% increase in droplets if you so choose. Also, I forgot, I'm going to do this. I'm swapping into your Ichigo with Kyogre. I've been using him more, and honestly, I will go back to Ichigo being number 1. That's the only change. Yeah. And then Noitora, obviously, he has complete status immunity. He has increased damage to last to enemies +60%. He has Debilitator of 2 seconds, so his debuff only lasts for 2 seconds, which is honestly really dumb. I feel as though he should have gotten Debilitator 5 for being a end-of-month Golden Week character. I think that was kind of a whatever, kind of cringe, but oh well. And then his increased status ailment chance against mind attribute enemies +10%, and then obviously the mind and super link slot mind potions +5. So then he also has recharge and the SP boost at 80%. Really, really solid. And then for his innate skills, he does have Guard Break, also Havoc, and Sprinter +1. So really fun character. Just give him some long shot, he's going to feel exceptional. Now, the way I'm going to rank him, I honestly think it kind of depends on how you want to play. I prefer obviously I haven't 100% used him. I've watched Death Smasher and Aaron Arrow use him, and I've looked at his kit. I think he's better against the bosses in IT, especially when he has Killer, obviously. But if he doesn't, then I'm not the biggest fan of it. Riggatony does very well against all the mini mobs and all that, but against the bosses, it's not as consistent considering they have so much HP and you can't always one-shot. But usually with a SP or a status ailment based character, I prefer to tend ones with status ailments versus the Pierced Iron Skin character with no status ailments. That's just how I play. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But yeah, it's kind of iffy. Obviously, it depends. Do you prefer more potions, or do you prefer more consistent damage versus a bigger boost in damage, but it's more of a percentage chance? I am going with this. If you want to say he's better, then that's great. But I think this is right around where I would place them. Yeah, a bit of a confusing wording there, but that is mainly how I look at it. Noitora is a bit more percentage chance, and when he does proc his status ailment, then amazing, very, very good. Rangiku is very consistent. Her damage like never falls off unless obviously you get like hit or something, but that's besides the point. And other than that, I think it's fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me on heart characters. Moving on to the next attribute. Alright, so we have one new character and 2 new resurrection. I'm not going to do all the resurrections, mainly just the 1,000-year Blood War ones, because of the ones that actually got treated well. The most recent ones, like the Koga and whatnot, and I think there's like an Izuru one. I don't care about them. They're all very mediocre, maybe some decent links, but outside of that, they were very bland and boring, so I don't even want to care. I don't even want to bring any interest into them. But now let's quickly go over Askin. Basically, he got nothing in terms of PVE. He essentially got a normal attack damage bonus, and that was pretty much it. Maybe a bit more bruiser. And then I think he ended up getting... No, I'm pretty sure he literally got like no skills, to be honest. I don't even remember exactly what he got. I think he got an innate skill, and that was essentially it. Yeah, I think he got damage to poison enemies plus 30% and poison duration minus 100% to make him usable for a GQ week, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, did not get much of a bonus, so he's just like in PvP, and I think he's worse than all these characters. I'm not even going to rank him. I just wanted to mention he did get resurrected. Now moving on to the Uryu, he actually got a pretty decent resurrection. Alright, so what he ended up picking up was the Team Party Stamina Recovery skill of 20%, decreased sword per damage taken, not terrible, and then he ended up picking up full stamina damage plus 20%, and then an additional full stamina only increased strong attack damage at 20%, making him one of the best links in the game for technique, because he has recharge and full stamina damage. I don't think much changed on him, to be honest. Like he did get like a 40% damage bonus, but it's still not that great. I believe his strong attacks are very outdated, to say the least, so I'm not that impressed still. I mean, you might be able to throw him up to like maybe A around here or something. I don't know. Ilford at least farms droplets or potions. I can't remember what he farms, honestly. Up in A, probably. I don't know. Not the best, but you know, he's a very solid link. He's an amazing link. But outside of that, it's very very eh. Now moving on to Orihime, the newer character of the month. Orihime is an exceptional character. I've used her in Epic Grades, I've used her in IT, and I've used her in not IT, IZ. I do not want to bring this character into IT. No status ailments, no thank you. But I brought her in GQ, and she does amazing. I 1-5 her, does just as well as almost a 5-5 Tokinata, I believe. So that's noteworthy. And yeah, I would say she's like, I wouldn't say SS tier. I don't know. I feel like her damage output is exceptionally high, but I still don't think she's better than Aizen. She has an amazing SA2. She has a tracking vortex, so you know, has insane crowd control. She has the boost. She has the enhancer skill, so she's going to have the 43% attack, defense, and focus boost, and then it lasts for an additional 10 seconds. So I think it's like 20 seconds for the boost. She has the technique, attribute, character, normal attack, damage plus 20%. She has damage taken minus 21%, so she's very tanky. She has Flurry 1 and then Flurry 2 in GQ, so she's very, very good in GQ. Killer effect plus 50 or plus 30 or plus 50 in GQ. Paralysis restoration, obviously, because it has paralysis on the ground. And then range damage plus 10 or plus 30 in GQ. She also has Poise and Sharpshooter, so she has Guard Break. I got that mixed up when I first saw it. So yeah, I think she's way better than the Rangiku, but I think Halle Bell, she has an insane farming potential. She has really good damage in there. Aizen is still the best nag character in the entire game. And then Toshiro, Ichigo, and the Ichibe, I think, are top 3 technique characters in the entire game. They're just extremely good. I don't think Orihime touches them. But as for the other characters, I think she has surpassed them. Obviously, I think Bambietta would be a better character in GQ. But in like Lemon Breaker and stuff, I think Orihime is just better. Yeah. That's just how I see it. Maybe you can move them around a little bit, but I don't know. I think she's comfortably around this little row with Retsu, Gin, and them. I think she's right around there. So, yeah, that is pretty much it for the technique attribute. Moving on to the next attribute. Alright, so for the speed attribute, we end up having 4 new characters. For the Grimmjow, there's no actual, like, one of these little icons made up, so I had to just screenshot it from the game. Sorry for the poor quality. I'll have that fixed up for the next tier list. Oh yeah, Bambietta is Resurrection. Basby's Resurrection, Arrow Narrow of the Mid-Month Banner, and then we have Grimmjow and Ichigo for this. The last Mid-Month Banner for Arrow Narrow, by the way. literally over a month ago. Jeez, crazy. Yeah, let's quickly go over Bambietta. She had a pretty good overall damage increase. I believe she ended up getting an extra little bit of Berserker. She already had the increased status summon chance, but she ended up getting full stamina only increased strong attack damage plus 30%. And then on top of that, she ended up getting the full stam only increase at 20% damage because of her soul trait. And then she ended up picking up Team Party, recovery 20% stamina, and an extra 30% damage to burning enemies. And I think she's really good. I think she's really good. I think she's, I think she is better than Tanjiro. So since she's slightly better than Tanjiro, I honestly think she's better than these characters. Probably around here. I don't think she's anywhere near as close as Gin. Also, this is my tier list for speed. I don't know. Speed is so close. There's so many different things going on here. I don't know. It's a bit iffy. Let me know what you guys want to move around, and maybe I would consider changing it. But I think Bambietta is actually a really, really good character. I use her. I love it. Only thing is I wish she got the SP boost, and she would have been superb. Exceptional. But yeah, I think she is much better than Byakuya. He has no status ailments. He's just done for. Retsu, she has potions, but we have better characters anyways, and I think she's not as good as Bambi. And as a Shiro, I just don't think he's that great. I don't think I'll move her up anymore. That's getting a bit iffy. But yeah, that's where I would personally put her. Now, as for Basby, alright, and now for Mr. Basby, he ended up picking up the damage to burning enemies plus 20%. He ended up picking up Guard Break, which is an insane innate skill. Very, very nice. Hopefully every single batch ended up getting this. Damage to burning enemies plus 20%, which is very nice, considering he has the increased status summon chance against power attribute Arankars, which it was just power enemies, but fair enough, I guess. And then he ended up picking up the SP boost plus 80%. And then I believe that was he ended up picking up 10% extra Berserker. That was the other thing that he ended up getting. So really, really solid resurrection. I like him overall. He's really, really good. As for where I would place him, I think he is above Bambietta. I don't know if I would push him above Aizen still. Like, yes, he does have the increased outstanding chance, but it's only against Arankars. He only has Frenzy plus 1, only a 30% Berserker. It's not like that insane. Like, honestly though, I don't even know if I would put him above Bambi. Like, yes, he has the SP boost, but he like hardly ever gets it when I've test played him. So maybe you can move him around in here, but this is generally where I would place him, to be honest. Now going on to the mid-month character, Mr. Aranero. Unfortunate on what he ended up getting. Could it have been worse? Yes. Is he still butchered? Yes, in my opinion. I really do not like this character outside of him being a Link, even though he is a mid-month character. What he ended up getting was the super power Link Slot Potions plus 5. He ended up getting Last Round on all of his skills. He has the Team Party, Speed, Attribute, Arankar damage to status ailment affected enemies plus 40%, Berserker 60%, more last rated damage if you inflict it by 60%, Devastation of 40, Frenzy of 1, increased status ailment chance against power attribute enemies plus 10%, so you have a higher chance to proc your status ailment. And then he ended up getting Power Link Slot Potion plus 5, Strong Attack Recharge, and an additional Super Power Link Slot Potion plus 5. So he gives you 5 Link Slot Potions and 10 Super Link Slot Potions, but he only has Frenzy plus 1. He does have an increased status ailment chance, but his Strong Attack kit also is very bland, very mediocre, not that great. It's just not amazing. Like, he's a good character, but like, he's worse than Tensa. He's worse than Tensa. I feel like he would be around where Akon is, but Akon has use in GQ, so like, with that in mind, I wouldn't even put him around there. Probably above Shuhei. Like, Shuhei is a plus 10 or plus 15 potion character. I can't remember exactly. I honestly... Also, actually, I'll put Shuhei above, since... Yeah, so maybe like this. Above Mila Rose. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know where I rank them. They're around here. I think they're better than Noelle. But maybe I moved Noelle down. I don't know. I never ended up using this character. I think Gin. But then she has potions, so it's like... S tier is so all over the place. So I don't like ranking S tier. It's just... It's too much. But this is where I would... genuinely put him. Alright, now we have the Grimjow. He's a bit of an interesting character. He is a guild quest character for the is melee Quincy week, so he is going to do very well because the melee Quincy week isn't like the easiest of weeks to clear, but he has a normal attack damage roll trait of 30%. Quincy killer, obviously he's a speed attribute character. Last year in all of his strong attacks, he has spiritual +1, he has guard break, decreased Quincy damage taken +20%, and then he has the increased normal attack damage of 40%, not including his link, so it's 40. Weakened resistance on his 100%. He has flurry except in some quests, and in guild quests he has 2. He has debilitator of 2 seconds. I don't know why they keep doing him only 2 seconds. Maybe it's better for a side character, maybe potentially. Honestly, probably yeah, because you want to inflict your main status element from your main character, so maybe that's not a terrible thing. Increased melee damage acceptance in quest +10 or +30 in GQ. Damage to last turn enemies is an additional 60%. He has poise, he has start barrier +10, so he should be fairly safe for the very beginning of the wave, which is very nice. And then he has increased killer effect +30 or +50 in GQ. So yeah, not too much to say about him. He's just one of the typical run-of-the-mill normal attack damage characters at the end of the day. No attack boost or anything. No base frenzy of 2. He had guard break. Yeah, he did have guard break, so you can use him anywhere realistically. I mean, he would probably just go up. He looks so weird. I hate it. I don't know if he would be above it. Maybe down by. Oh my god, I hate this. Below them. Like, he's a good character, but he's just a side NAD character. Nelliel at least has like complete status immunity. She has the attack boost. She has so much more going for her compared to Grimmjow. He's just a run-of-the-mill normal attack damage character. Basically like Kaguraza, essentially. That's why I'm putting him right next to Kaguraza. That's how mainly I'm going off of it. And then also, I believe this Love is also a pretty good side character in GQ. Same with Shinji. You know, that's basically what these characters are. Usable. So yeah, that is the speed tier list. The speed tier list. Let me know down below. Maybe there's a bit different of where you would put them. Fair enough if you have some critiques, because I don't have the character. I can only go off of what I'm seeing and off of the kit. So you know, it's a bit iffy, especially because we haven't actually had the melee Quincy week. So maybe this will change in due time when I actually can see like the other YouTubers like showcase him, like Saruji, or I believe Aaron Arrow also pulled him, so hopefully they can actually showcase him. But yeah, let's hop into the next attribute. Alright, so we're having the Resurrection for Candace. Absolutely love it. And then I'm getting the Rukia for mid-month alongside the Aaron Yarrow, which really like. Yeah, let's go over the Candace Resurrection first, and then we'll go over Rukia. Candace ended up getting the damage to paralyzed enemies plus 20%. Ended up also getting the extra damage to paralyzed enemies plus 20% in her regular skills. And then an extra 10% Berserker, if I'm not mistaken. And alongside that, the status element Spiritual Pressure Boost plus 50%, which if she procs the status element, she's going to do very good damage. And then she also ended up picking up Havoc and Long Stride along the way, or they added that in. I can't remember if she already had those and then they moved it to the innate skill or not, but either way, she has those. Really solid character. Where I would put her, realistically, I honestly don't know. It's so iffy. It's so iffy. Also, I love that I put Shuhei in. Did I not order this? Maybe I did not order this, because to be honest, I don't think Shuhei is an S tier, like that top of S tier. Like, he's great. I think he's a great side character. Yeah, probably about there. As for Candace, nowhere near Giriko. Dear God, no. Like, I know that Nelliel and Okiura are potions, but honestly, because they're boosters, honestly, I might just put her like right here. To be honest. Like, it's not a bad placement. It's just like they have more use overall. Like, she's essentially just a link. Like, yeah, she's good, but she only has Frenzy 1, no increased status, so much change, so it's very rare to get the SP boost. Giriko and then they have droplets at least. They have really good usage in guild quests. So, I don't know. You could probably move her down if you really wanted to. Not too sure, to be honest. These Resurrection characters are a bit iffy, especially considering she does not have guard break, actually. So, yeah, she doesn't have guard break. Move her below the Giriko, since at least he has booster for GQ. He's usable. Gina has like no use in the game, to be honest. And then Kisuke, no. Like, these characters are basically unusable. I think Candace is still good. She's still good. So, yeah. Now going on to Rukia, she's a very good normal attack damage character. She has a normal attack damage of 30%, team party soul reaper damage plus attack plus 20%. So would have been really nice if she had an SA2 boost, because I know that the Party Time Aizen, or White Day Aizen, was a character in this GQ, the melee Espada, but since he doesn't have a boost, you don't really want to run two NAD characters without a boost, so it's kind of unfortunate because they would have been a great pair together. Then she has the damage taken minus 16%, flurry +1 or +2 in GQ. She has guard break, killer effect +50 in GQ, long reach, melee damage +30 in GQ, and poise. And then some innate skills that are decreased around card damage taken minus 20%, sprinter +1, and then duration, weakened duration minus 100%. So yeah, as I said, exactly like Grimmjow, just another run-of-the-mill normal NAD character around this time. And if I had to rank her, like in terms of like overall, I don't know, she'd probably be up by like the Mayuri. Like I think she's better than this Rukia, like in terms of damage, but like this Rukia has the damage output, like the boost, so it's like I don't know, maybe you can move her down to ear, but like yeah, I think that's fair. Maybe you can move her up a little bit, but she's still an S tier character. Not that big of a downgrade if you want to move her around or anything. It's so iffy because it's like, well, this Aizen, you know, he's better. He's an SP character. He clears fast than this Rukia ever could. But in Guild Quest, she's very, very good. But I bet you in Limit Breaker, he's probably better, you know, so it's a bit wonky to say the least. Yeah, maybe I should just get my own tier list for NAD characters, to be honest. It would make it a bit more easier. And then like droplets and then damage dealers. I don't know. But yeah, that is the Mind tier list. Not too much going on there. Alright, and so now for the power attribute. This one is a bit interesting considering what we ended up getting. We got a resurrection for Jugram for the Brave Battle meta, which obviously this is a PVE tier list, so I'm not going to go too much into that. Maybe just quickly run over his kit. He does nothing in GQ essentially besides being a link, to be honest. And then we ended up getting the Future Society Okiura and the new droplet visored Ichigo. So yeah, let's quickly go over Jugram. Alright, so Jugram just ended up picking up an extra normal attack damage plus 16%. He ended up getting the innate skills of Sprinter and Paralysis Resistance, which is very, very nice. An extra, I was very confused by his normal attack damage of 36%. I forgot that's his soul trait. I was like, what? But he ended up picking an extra normal attack damage of 20%, which is pretty nice considering he didn't have any somehow. That's insane. He ended up getting Brave Battles only, prevent last ditch survival, which is pretty nice. And then he can finally pierce Brave Battle Invincibility, or ignore Brave Battle Invincibility right here. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Kind of funny that, you know, he's the person who kicked off Invincibility and now he can actually pierce it. Finally, he learned. But obviously in like GQ or anything, I don't think he's that great. He's just a link at the end of the day, and even then, not even a good damage link. He's like a Brave Battle link, and even then, I feel like you would probably want DR plus 20. So I don't know. I think he's okay. In terms of like Brave Battles, I don't even know if I'd rank him over Chad, to be honest. I'll have to do an entire Brave Battle video because Chad is an insane character right now. Honestly, my goat. Let him cook. But yeah, either way, that doesn't matter too much. This is a PVE video. Let's quickly go over the Okiura. I love this character. Absolutely love this character. He is the new #1 best power character in the entire game, in my opinion. It sucks that I had to dethrone my goat. I love this man. He's so cool. He's my favorite character at the moment, but I do think Okiura overall is better. Limit Breaker and GQ, there's no contest. Okiura can actually clear extremely easily, even at just 1 out of 5. Nightmare though is a bit iffy, I won't lie, but now that his SA2 actually ended up getting fixed, it's much more attainable to do. But let's quickly go over his kit. So he ended up getting the Quincy Killer. He's a ranged character, strong attack damage plus 20% and strong attack recharge minus 12%, and then he ends up getting weakening in all of his skills, and he has the SA1 beam, SA2 lunge, and then the SA3 get to good Tencho type attack, like end of your True Shikai Ichigo. Very insane damage output, but it is a bit risky to drop that attack, obviously, which is unfortunate. That's like my only thing I don't like about him, just because it's a bit hard to drop the entire thing in Guild Quest. It's a great attack, it's just leaves you open a little bit. That's like one downside for him. I really wish he had Lacerate or Paralysis or Freeze or something, or Paralysis should have been a given since he literally has an EMP, but we digress. He ended up getting damage to weakened enemies plus 40%, debilitator of 5 seconds, which is really, really good. You keep your debuff going for 5 seconds. Devastation plus 60%. Frenzy of 2. Havoc plus 20%, and then increased status and chance against Quincy enemies. So GQ and Lemon Breaker are going to be doing exceptionally well. IT, it's a bit of a iffy scenario, you know, because you're not proccing status elements as consistently. He's still a very exceptional character. It's a bit jarring when you go from like Guild Quest, always proccing your status elements almost every single attack, versus like IT, it's like, okay, I did 3 attacks, where's my SP boost, you know? Bit different there. And then he ended up picking up Longshot and Sharpshooter, alongside with the status ailment spiritual pressure boost plus 80%, ended up picking up weakened defense and weakened duration minus 100%. I really wish they gave him complete status immunity. That would have been so much better. Just one status ailment for this type of character is another downgrade in my opinion. I don't know why they can't just give out more status ailment immunities. Like, sure, don't give out shared complete status immunity, whatever, boo-hoo. But a shared or a complete status immunity would have been very, very appreciated. Alongside that, for his innate skills, he ended up getting Team Party, Recover 20% Stamina, Poise, and Sprinter plus 1. So he has insane damage output, a lot of versatility, has one of the best status elements in the entire game, considering it's weakening, and he just has insane damage. That's why he's number 1. This is just my tier list on how I would place them personally. Yeah, this is just how I would do it. Let me know down below what you personally think. But now, I almost forgot, because considering how I hyped up Ulquiorra, I forgot that we still have one more character. We have the Visored Ichigo. Alright, so for Visored Ichigo, he's a bit of a jarring character for a lot of people. I think he is an exceptionally good character. He's a very good character. He has very good damage output. He is a Stern Ritter killer. He has Technique Droplet Drop plus 30%. Alongside that, he has Sprinter plus 1, Team Party, Stamina Recovery plus 20%. He has Havoc plus 20%, so his strong attacks have more range. He recovers more stamina every single room he goes through. Very, very nice. He has this increased strong type damage of 60%, so a 60% Berserker, 60% Devastation. Obviously, his link... No, his link is Droplet actually, so he has an extra reduced strong attack damage cooldown by 12%. He has full stamina damage boost plus 20%. He has the increased technique droplets plus 10, and then an extra 20% droplets, increased technique droplets, so he gets an extra 50% in total. Alongside Frenzy plus 1, increased damage to enemies not affected by an element, and Guard Break. So he does a very good amount of damage. He has the increased strong attack damage by 60%, 60% Berserker, full stamina damage plus 20, and then he has the increased damage to enemies not affected by an ailment plus 100%. He is essentially a little bit worse damage compared to Tensa, because I believe Tensa has like a co-op increase, but this guy farms mainly droplets. You need a lot of droplets in this game to max out a lot of the characters in the game, especially if you're a newer player. That is a lot of catching up to do. It takes quite a while. You need 7,500 droplets per character to T20 them. It takes a lot of stamina, so you're saving stamina and time if you have this character, and then you can slap either E-Burn on him, or if you really want to, you can slap this character on E-Burn if you mainly need potions. Up to you, obviously. But he does more damage than E-Burn. It gives you more droplets than E-Burn, and then you can just add E-Burn as a link. So there you go. Because you're just getting 30% droplets if you use Ichigo with E-Burn, you know? So it's kind of up to you however you want it. The only thing I really wish is that they would increase droplet trials. The co-op trials, because if they do that, this Ichigo would have been much more well received. But since co-op droplets are a joke, not that many people see the value in him. You still get an insane amount of droplets. I think Saruji has a little video of him showcasing it, and he got like 140 droplets a run, maybe 110. It was like 100-ish. Maybe I can't remember the exact amount, but it was a lot of droplets, and not the entire lobby had Ichigos. Not all of them had droplet links. You can get an absurd amount of droplets with this character. He's just like the Yatru and the Momo that released earlier this year, but because he's such a hyped character, that's where I think a lot of the hate towards this character has come from. Like, if this was the some random like Zamari or something, I think people would have loved or liked the kit more. But unfortunately, it's one of the fan favorite, forms of Ichigo, especially since it's been like 8 years since they've had it, which is a bit unfortunate. But I still think he's an absolutely exceptional character, and now as to where I would place him, to be honest, I think he kicks Nell down. Nell is only +5 super pots. Not the biggest fan of it. Not the biggest fan of her kit. She has less damage. At least he has more damage. I'm still not the biggest fan of Neliel. Never really was. Unless she has killer, I just don't really care for it. Each go with the 60% berserker and the increased status element chance. An extra 100% damage to non-afflicted element enemies is a very good hard-hitting character. He also has a 20% full stamina. He does incredibly well from what I've seen. Obviously, I've only watched gameplay. I don't have him. But Neliel, she only has +5 super pods. Obviously, you can slap links on her and whatnot, but even with like full stam links and whatnot, her damage is still very eh. And then this Ichigo has better strong attacks. Like, he has very, very good strong attacks. He just doesn't have a tracking vortex or anything like that. Otherwise, he'd be very, very good. So yeah, that is my power tier list. That should be it for the tier list. Let me know if you guys want a Brave Battle tier list, because honestly I haven't made one in a while, and the meta is kind of a bit different since Menina has dropped. But yeah, that is going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below what you guys think. Take care and have an absolutely amazing day. Peace.